Hey there, empowered peeps. So you are about to head out on a European vacation and you've decided to travel light, right? You just want to go to Europe only using a carry-on suitcase. Well, I'm going to show you how to do just that. In part 1 of this video series, I share a lot of pro tips on how to pack your suitcase, a bigger suitcase, for a European vacation. If you haven't seen that one yet, I encourage you to go do that because in this video, I'm going to be building on a lot of information that I shared in that video. Now in this one, I'm going to show you how to convert the packing that we already did into only using a carry-on. Now, why would you use a carry-on? The reason is because a lot of times the airlines lose our luggage. And I'm here to tell you from personal experience that it happens often. I've had it happen 3 times already, and granted, I do travel a lot. But my latest experience with that was when I traveled to Europe last month, and I was there for 12 days. My luggage got lost on the way there, and I never saw it one single time until I went home. So the whole 12 days, I was without my luggage that I very carefully and painstakingly packed for my vacation. So if you want to avoid that catastrophe altogether, then I encourage you to pack for your vacation using only a carry-on and a personal item. And that way you keep them with you all of the time in the airplane and you never give it over to them to handle and perhaps lose. So the first thing you're going to want to do is carefully choose your carry-on bag. And you want to choose one that is absolutely the biggest allowable size. You may have a really cute one like this that you're super tempted to use, but don't use it unless it takes up every single allowable inch that the airline will give you. The maximum size the airlines will allow you to have in a carry-on bag is 14 inches by 22 inches by 9 inches. So 9 inches is this way, and that means when the expander is not in use, it's 9 inches. But I've seen a lot of carry-ons that have a big old expander in use and they don't call you on it. So carefully select your bag that takes up the absolute maximum size that's allowable, and then leave your cute one at home. And I would strongly recommend that when you pack your carry-on, do not have the expanders open. So just pack it the normal way, and then if you happen to buy a lot of souvenirs or you pick up some clothing items while you're gone, you have a little extra room with your expanders that you can use to take home your additional treasures. All right, if you're wanting all of your stuff for a vacation to fit in just a carry-on bag, there's 3 things that you really need to keep in mind. Don't take too many shoes. No. 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 And no. You have to keep your shoes to a minimum. I would say absolute max, only take 3. So 1 pair of shoes is going to be on your feet in the airplane, and you can have 2 more in your bag. Another thing you need to do is avoid packing clothing that is too bulky and heavy. So jeans, for example, if you roll up a pair of jeans, they take up this amount of space. If you roll up a pair of linen pants, it only takes up this amount of space. This is much lighter and a lot less bulky than this. So you can easily pack several pair of thin linen pants. Even men can wear linen pants or another kind of thin, lightweight fabric and skip the jeans altogether. If you're traveling in a cold weather destination, you may think, well, I want to have a lot of sweaters and hoodies to keep warm and cozy. Well, here is one hoodie, and look at how bulky this is. Instead of that, you could wear 2 layers. So you could wear a long-sleeved shirt and a thin sweater on top of it, which will give you the same amount of warmth, but when you roll them up together, it'll take up a lot less space. Also, if you have a little cardigan, you can wear this numerous times throughout your journey, and that way you're getting more use out of something that you packed. and you can just pair it with different tops to give it a different look. This is the shirt and the sweater both rolled up together, and it is much smaller in size and bulk than the one hoodie by itself. So skip the hoodies and the big bulky sweaters. Instead, stick with lighter weight layers. If you're getting value out of this content, I would be so grateful if you would click like and subscribe and hit that little notification bell too, because then you won't miss any of the helpful how-to videos that I put out every week. And share it with all of your friends who have the travel bug too, because then they can pack like a pro as well. Another thing that you'll really have to minimize is your liquids. So take a look in your bag with all of your toiletries and see what you can prune out. If you have a skincare routine that's normally 10 steps, see if you can prune it back to just 5. And if you normally wear makeup that is about 7 steps, see if you can prune that back to only 3. Also, if you were thinking about traveling with perfume, let me encourage you to skip that altogether. You don't need the weight of the glass bottle or the liquid, and many times when you're traveling in an enclosed space with other people, whether it be a train or a bus, you don't really want to have perfume on because many times people are sensitive to that. In my previous video, I showed you how I pack my liquids using the smallest and lightest weight containers that I can. But if I'm traveling with only a carry-on, I may need to prune back even more. As you probably know, when you're passing through airport security, you can only take a quart-sized baggie with whatever liquids that you want to take with you. And each individual bottle in here can only be 3.4 ounces or less. So let's see how much I can fit in this baggie, and then we'll know how much I need to prune back. So the liquids that I travel with are face moisturizer with sunscreen in it, sunscreen for my body as well, curl cream for my curly hair, and micellar water for my face, and conditioner for my hair because some hotels don't have that, hairspray, re-wetting drops for my eyeballs, night cream for my face, and lotion. Now, if all of this didn't fit in here, I would skip the lotion. That would be very easy to buy in my destination. But with some careful squeezing and packing, all of my liquids just barely fit in here. Now I'm gonna set my bag of liquids aside, and we're gonna talk about that again in a minute. And let's just go ahead and fold up this toiletry bag that is much lighter now. Now, in the previous video, I went in depth about exactly how many items of clothing that you should pack and how to pack them in your suitcase. I use packing cubes. So now what I'm going to do is transfer all of those items that I packed into a bigger suitcase, and I'm going to put them into just the carry-on, and I'm going to show you how that works right now. So here's the suitcase that I packed in my previous video, and I'm going to show you how to adapt things to fit into the carry-on now. So the very first thing we need to do is we're going to have to throw this out. This can pass okay in a checked bag, but it won't fly in a carry-on. So we're going to have to get rid of this and then just buy more sunscreen if necessary at our destination. Now for packing my whole 12 days worth of items into just the carry-on. We'll start again with the dresses, and now I'm going to fold them in half and just keep them flat on the bottom. And then I'll layer on top my packing cubes. I'm going to shift this up to the top so that my heavy things can go in the bottom. My toiletries that don't have any liquids in them, my shoes, and then my other packing cube. This is my cosmetic bag. Gotta have goggles for my Croatia destination. And photo freaks gotta have a tripod. Snorkel, medicines and things, my washcloths. These are my swimsuits and bras. Jewelry, waterproof camera bag, and my undergarments. Now I'm gonna close this up, and it'll zip up just fine without even using the expanders. And I like to put my Ziploc bags in the front pocket. because Ziploc bags are so handy for travel, and I like to have them easily accessible. Voila, 12 days of things that I need in just a carry-on suitcase. So in my previous video, I demonstrated packing a checked bag. So with the big suitcase checked, you can take on the airplane both a carry-on and a personal item. But now that we've kind of changed it up a bit, we already have our carry-on that is our loaded up suitcase. So now we really have to prune this back. So this is now our carry-on, and this is now going to be our personal item. Now with the personal item, you do have to make sure that it'll fit underneath the seat in front of you. Now with a normal sized backpack, it will fit under the seat in front of you, even if you stuff it pretty tight. So now I'm gonna set this aside, and remember, this one already counts as our carry-on. We're gonna put this in the overhead bin. Now let's talk about packing your personal item. Not two things anymore, it just needs to be consolidated into one. So again, I'd like to invite you to look at my previous video where I talk about everything that needs to be packed in both your carry-on and your personal item. But like I said, now we're consolidating this all into one, and it's just gonna be our personal item. So just to review, you'll want a baggie with an extra set of clothes tucked down in the bottom of your personal item. However, this isn't nearly as necessary since you're keeping your suitcase with you. But just as a safeguard, I would still have my extra set of clothing in my personal item. So we're gonna tuck that down in the bottom of the backpack. And then you'll want to have a jacket. I recommend a raincoat because it is very multi-purposeful. So you put this down in your personal item as well. And then I always travel with a lot of snacks, so pack up as many snacks as you like for your airplane journey, but then also snacks to have in your destination as well. And then your little bag with your headrest and your eye cover and your earplugs. I use an inflatable headrest, so it all fits in this nice and tidy. And then you'll need a bag with all of your adapters and chargers, and you'll need that really handy for on the plane and in the airport. I like to travel with a pair of socks. And then keep your bag of liquids right near the top because you'll have to take that out when you pass through security. And then refer to my previous video so that you'll know everything you need to pack in your purse, because there's a lot of really crucial things that you'll want in there for travel. And then it's very essential that you leave room in the top of your backpack that your purse will fit inside. Because sometimes as you're entering the plane, they really are sticklers about it, and you have to have only your personal item. So make sure your purse fits inside the backpack. There we go, zips up no problem. And if you carry a hat with you, you can have one of these handy little clips, clip your hat right onto your backpack, and that way it doesn't get crushed in travel. So now here we have it. We're totally packed up and ready for a 12-day European vacation with only a carry-on suitcase and a personal item. Now, since you're not checking your bag at the airport, you'll be responsible for carrying both of these things throughout the airport, boarding on and off of the plane, and any connections that you might have. So, of course, your suitcase is gonna have wheels on it. But what you can do so that you don't even have to carry your backpack is put a strap right here. Some backpacks already have it, and if you're buying a new one, then you might look for this feature. But if your backpack doesn't have it, you can hand sew a strap right here, and then you can just slide it right on top of your carry-on, like so. And then you can just hold on to one handle and roll everything around the airport, and you don't have to carry anything on your back. It's pretty sweet. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you really love your European vacation that you have coming up. I want to hear all about it, so be sure to put in the comments where you went and if these packing tips were helpful for you. Now, of course, in these last two videos, I've just been talking about packing. I actually have a ton of travel tips to share with you too, so watch for an upcoming video about that. So I hope with these packing tips that I've shared, it has decreased your stress about packing for your vacation. And now you're ready to pack up your stuff and go have a vacation of a lifetime. We can do it.